A plus, one of the most legendary stories in existence, and it's not even like the top one to me. I think you've outclassed it. But I remember you called me one day. He was like, "Damn, this motherfucker tried to play me, man."
He tried to play me. You got it.
And I said, "Who?" You said, "Gucci Mane." I said, I hung up the phone. I said, "I'm not fucking with that."
I walked away from the phone.
I don't need that in my life. What happened? Because is the picture still online of the tents?
Oh, the video.
Is the video still online?
Yes, it's on YouTube. I believe it's been bootlegged a couple of times. So I think all things considered, if you put them all together, it's like 1 million views plus.
Oh shit!
So can you tell us like what happened with, you know what I'm saying, you and Gucci Mane? And again, you mentioned this before the break. You say he's one of your favorite artists of all time, or he is your favorite artist of all time. I remember when I was on the fence with Gucci Mane, you kind of brought me back. You was like, you need to listen to this, Will Chamberlain, No Pen. You know what I'm saying? All of the mixtapes you put me onto, and I became a fan from that. Not only that, just being in Richmond, they play fucking Photo Shoot. It's kind of like the bridge back into the good music. But
right,
like Photo Shoot welcomes you into good music during a club set in Richmond. But
yes,
what happened there? And mind you, let's set the tone. You're working on radio. I believe it was like a Sunday or something. He was due to be in one of our clubs, right?
Yeah, so it was a club day. I believe it was like a walkthrough. I don't even think it was a performance, but he was due to come through. Of course, he was promoting his album, and it was like one of those band off albums right after the State versus Radric Davis. It was the Georgia's Most Wanted album. Yeah, so the one that had like Gucci time.
Yeah.
So he's coming in and promoting that album. He's on Warner Brothers still, and he just comes to the studio, and this is the same weekend. It's a Sunday, like you said, Five. That Friday before, Vibe interviews Waka Flocka with the exclusive. Gucci and Waka are not on speaking terms. And so, like, Waka says something like, he hasn't talked to Gucci in months. He doesn't know where the relationship is. So now, me being very young, I'm about 21, 22 at this time. And he's my favorite rapper at the moment. Like I give it the whole. I probably listen to more Jay-Z than I can stand, so that's probably my favorite rapper by default. But Gucci's right there. Like and you know me, Five. So I've been around a lot of purists in hip hop.
Oh yeah,
who detest the sight or hearing Gucci music anywhere around them.
That so big lip bastard is what they used to call him.
It's like he always has a sinus infection. How can you hear what he's saying? But nonetheless, I always champion that man's music. So he came to the station, did an interview promoting his appearance, and the rookie mistake I made during the commercial break or during a song playing was showing him what we were about to talk about, which is a no-no in radio interviews. You're either going to man up and ask the question or you're not going to ask the question. But me in front of my favorite rapper wanted to give him the courtesy of letting you know, hey, the bus is coming. Look out for the bus. And so he sees that, has a confused look on his face, looks at the radio rep who's standing by the door, and what you see in that video in one fell swoop within like seconds of me going back on the air is Gucci riding, swirling around that little swivel chair, getting his ass up and walks out the door. And you can hear me faintly going, what the hell? We're about to go on the air. So I'm about to go on the air. And I'm like, it's iPower 92.1 and 104.1. Gucci's here. We'll be right back. You know what I mean? Like I had to wrap it up so quickly to go out in the hallway and figure out where the fuck is Gucci going.
Right.
And he literally like walks, he like saunters out the whole building. He's like, yeah, man, he didn't want to talk about that. It's like, what the hell? He just walks out the interview, doesn't say anything. He doesn't say, I don't want to talk about that.
So hold on. Let's just be clear.
You chased him down?
No, he does something worse, Josh. So he walks out and maybe like a break later, this fool A+ cuts a promo on Gucci Mane like he's Ric Flair.
Right. Oh yeah. I had the nerve that day to run down Gucci on the radio like I was Flex running down R. Kelly, back in 2007. Oh man, yeah. I mean, it was hilarious. I think that's still on World Star somewhere too, in the back channels of YouTube somewhere.
No, I found the video. It's on YouTube. It's definitely got about 457,000 views. It's up there. You just gotta type in Gucci Mane walks out of interview. You'll see A+ right there. A young, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed A+.
Oh God.
So the next day, Jay Graham, one of my big homies, he's at Warner Brothers at this time, and I think he's at 88 grand now. And he calls me. He's like, yeah, this is not good. I'm like, oh no, what do you mean? I mean, he walked out on me. He was like, yeah, this is just going viral. It's just not good. It's not going viral for the right reason. It's wrong. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about to be excommunicated from the industry or something. But luckily, you know, cooler heads prevailed, and I guess time healed all wounds. I actually interviewed Gucci over the phone, like when he got out of jail in like 2016 for that Everybody Looking album. But I don't think he had any idea like it was me he was talking to, and that incident, you know, was responsible for. So, you know, I guess all's well that ends well somewhat.
but I mean, like, has there like what is something else where it's just like that you've been through as far as interviews that you've seen that have just like not gone well? I think one thing we brought up. I don't think you've been in any like contentious interviews like that ever since then.
Yeah, the closest one after that had to be when Kevin Gates was making his rounds on social media, whether it was with the dog and he said whatever, was it kissing the dog or something like that, and then he just kicked the girl in the face at the concert. Oh yeah. So I believe it was more so about the dog. I think I asked him about like, you know, what does he need his dog for or something like that, and he was like, you know, I gotta ask this question because you're trending for it right now. He's like, go ahead, ask me, big brother, what's the question? Go ahead, ask me. I'm like, the dog thing, what's up with that? He just went on a tirade for like 3.5 minutes. And I believe from that moment on, like he wanted to control the conversation. Like he can literally interview himself. And I think I let him do that. So, you know, it's cool.
There was another instance where Future got mad at all of us. Cause
yeah.
Future got mad at all of us. This is back in what, 2012? It was an Honest album. And
it's an Honest album, right?
One thing about it, like one thing I always thank you for is like really like looking out for me and like all of my endeavors and what I was trying to do at the time. So like you would get records and like you'd be like, yo, this record's gonna come out and go find it. You know what I'm saying? And I had a blog. I was writing. I was trying to get on. I was trying to like really kind of put myself out there. And I was like, okay, I will put it on the site. It'll be an exclusive. But the thing that was different was that I believe like we had gotten the go ahead or the green light from the label to do it.
We did.
And they were like, go ahead, premiere on this. Future's going to be on, what was it? The old stream shit. Justin TV. What was he on? Ustream. It was Ustream. It was Ustream. It was Ustream. And he was like, yeah, Future's going to shout y'all out. And I was like, all right, bet. So we premiered it like, what, 4 or 5 hours early on the blog. You gave me the record, you put it up there. I was like, this is a big thing. I wrote the blurb up for it. This is huge for me because I mean, I'm independent at this point. And the record gets out, Future gets on Ustream. I'm like, all right, this is our big moment. Here we go. Let me record this shit. Oh, best of both offices. Y'all fucked up, man. Fuck y'all.
Right. I was like, wait, whoa. What happened?
And I was like, wait, I was like, hey, plus he just told us fuck us. He just said fuck us on air, bro. And he's like, oh yeah, I guess he didn't know. I guess the label didn't tell Future that y'all was premiering because he had already given the premiere to somebody else. And
which is plausible now how much people don't communicate, but go ahead.
So we had the record out
long down the road.
We had the record out, and I think I took it down. I was like, let me just not even get, because like DMCA was like really in its early infancy then. Like you never really got DMCA notices back then. So I took it down myself because I didn't even want to, because it was way serious. Because if you got it, that meant like take that shit down right the fuck now. So when that happened, I was like, bro, what the fuck? What happened? And I think that to me, looking back on it, it was pretty epic in itself. The Future knew who we were at one point.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't. And what's crazy is like years later, like maybe 2015, when he was on that epic run, I actually had a chance to sit across from him in first class on a flight, I think from Richmond to Atlanta.
Whoa! First class.
No, hey, look, hey, that's my girl. She works for Delta. Hey, nothing shady or nefarious about that, folks. So, like, the person, I believe, is either a flight attendant or somebody that works on the flight is like, hey, so he's pretty popular. I'm like, y'all know who that is? That's the Wizard. And he's like, he's like, they don't know who Future is. I didn't even call him Future. I just was trying to be inside and be cool. And I was like, oh, that probably was lame. But you know what? Oh, well.
That's the Wizard.
Like, y'all know that's the Wizard right there, man. I'm like, I know you. I know you, Future. Like, he don't give a fuck. He wants to go home.
Well, but I want to ask, just like, I mean, you've been in the game for over 20 years, man. Streaming has popped up, and it's been something that's kind of been at the door of radio knocking. And I feel like some people have understood it, some people haven't understood it, some people have adapted, some people haven't to the new times. I know you've been someone that's kind of been leading the charge and pushing that. And I know that's been something that's been very, I'm not going to say it was easy. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. How has streaming kind of changed what radio has to do now? Because I mean, a lot of people say like radio isn't important. And I think that you're one of the people that make me believe and make me understand why radio still is important.
Yeah, for sure. I think radio is still one of those necessary steps you need to go from star to superstar. We have a lot of rappers in the culture right now that, all of us would recognize on the show right now. But if somebody was walking into a Ralph's, I don't know if they would know who, let's just say Big Boogie is, or whoever the next superstar I want to come up is. I don't think they would know who that person is. So radio kind of takes you from one point, like let's say Moneybagg Yo, for instance. I don't think he would have had full, ubiquitous, presence all over prior to the pandemic when he just started churning out hits and became a mainstay presence on the radio. So radio still plays a necessary part in going from star to superstar. But I'd be lying if I said that streaming isn't a metric that is very much so used in the factoring in of creating radio playlists across all genres. Now, I don't care what format you're in. If you're a music format, you're looking at streaming because a lot of your audience is streaming music. That's just a way of life at this point. Yeah. So if you're not paying attention to some of these artists that are really streaming and may not be at that superstar level yet, you have to, because you have to be an early indicator to help be a part of their growth from star to superstar. Because if they make it without radio, you can forget it, man. It's going to be tough getting a hold of them. I've been there. There's a lot of independent artists now that are making waves. Like take, for instance, Brent Faiyaz. Now, Brent Faiyaz has had singles that we've played, but they haven't charted really high. But with that being said, he's still a high commodity and a really big presence in R&B right now. People love him. He could sell tickets on his own name. Right. So I think he's on his way, but he's already there as far as the star goes. We just have to take him to that superstar level. Maybe next year, Brent Faiyaz having 4 or 5 singles on the radio via features and solo songs. I think that's part of the process still. So radio is still a necessary evil, so to speak, but it's definitely, playing a role that is also aligned with streaming as well. Like it has to go hand in hand, so to speak, for an artist.